Good morning, everybody. This video is aimed at seventh period predominantly for those people that are having trouble filling out their cluster research sheets. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and do this together. Let's go ahead and help each other out. So, if you are not on our materials page yet, please go ahead and click over there and make sure that happens. And before we get started, there's three things that you need to have open. First off, you need to go to important links. You need to click on ONET Online. And I'm going to go ahead and click this arrow here and make it its own tab. And then we'll go back to my materials again, important links. There is also a link there for BLS.gov. And lastly, I'm going to go back to my materials again. And we need to go ahead and open up our Cluster Research Group 3 Day 1 document. All right, looking at that document, go ahead and make sure that you read the material in red and go ahead and make sure that you make that happen. Go ahead and pause this video now if you have not already done what's in red. And then let's go ahead and look at the overview for Cluster 1, Agriculture, Food, and Natural Resources. The overview tells us what does Naviance say about the overview of this career. We are not going to be using Naviance for this research. Naviance made some changes on their website, which we, iExplore teachers, decided that we didn't like too much, so we decided not to use it. Anything that Naviance offers up is either on BLS.gov or on ONET Online. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the overview over on BLS.gov. And I'm going to come over here to the search point here, and I'm going to type in clusters. I'm going to search for that. And our top result is where I want to go. All right. If I scroll down here, I'm going to find a link here for my cluster, and I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And up here in the very top, it will give you a nice overview of that cluster. This cluster involves working with plants, animals, and the environment. Please go ahead and pause the video and make sure that you have that in the appropriate place, which should be right here. Let's go ahead and look at Outlook. What does the future hold for this cluster? And again, what that means. Are we going to need more people in this field, or are we going to need less people in the future in this field? And I'm going to go ahead and go back to BLS again. If I look at my last paragraph, BLS projects the largest number of job openings in the agriculture, food, and natural resources cluster to be in occupations assigned to the plant systems pathway. They're expected to have the most job openings in the cluster is crop nursery and greenhouse, farm workers and laborers. Those jobs generally don't pay very well. So if you read this paragraph, draw your own conclusions, and go ahead and place your conclusions in the outlook for the future. I can certainly say that the only growth in this cluster involves low-paying jobs. Of course, you can put whatever you like in that box. This section right here, we are going to skip over for now. All right. I'm going to go down to this box right here. 4 careers that interest me from this cluster are, we are going to go to ONET Online and look that up. So I want you to go to ONET Online. Let's find occupations, career cluster. And we see this drop down box here. We're going to go ahead and click or keep it on where it already is. I'm going to click go. And we can see there's all kinds of different jobs here available to you. I need you to pick 4 of those and come back to your sheet and fill those in right here. Go ahead and pause the video and do that now. Okay, by now all of you should have the 4 careers that interest you, or that most interest you, listed as 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and pause the video, and I want you to go ahead and answer this question here. Why do these careers look interesting? Okay, now that we have most of this done, I need you to go ahead and tell me one thing I really like about this cluster is, for instance, I would say that I would get to work with animals if I was actually in this field. But you need to tell me why you would be interested in what you put down. Also, right here, we did not answer the second question. What types of career pathways are found in this cluster? I'm going to go back to my ONET Online. These are my pathways. So if you could put down 2 to 3 of them to finish off that box, that would be great. Okay, cluster 1 is finished. Let's go ahead and move to cluster 2. All right. So in arts, audio, visual technology, and communication, those are generally jobs that a lot of people want to be in. So let's go ahead and look at our overview. I'm going to go back to BLS again. I already have that tab open. I go up to the top, and I'm going to click on that cluster link there. And there's your overview. Careers in this cluster often involve creative tasks such as performing or writing. Most of the arts and design, entertainment, and sports and media and communication occupations in the OOH are assigned to this cluster. Of course, you don't need to put that, but you can go ahead and put this right here. So go ahead and pause the video and do that now. All right, let's go ahead and go back to our cluster sheet. And let's go ahead and fill out this box right here. Outlook, what does the future hold for this cluster? And I'm going to go down to the very bottom paragraph. BOS projects most job openings in this cluster to be in occupations assigned to the visual arts pathways, which includes graphic designers. This occupation is projected to have the most job openings in this cluster. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I know about this cluster. And basically, the outlook is not a good outlook, mainly because the print media has been ravaged by the internet. And there's a lot of people in your generation that feels like all this content should be free. So I know from what I know that there have been a great purge of jobs in this cluster. So I would say the outlook doesn't look great, but if you want to be a graphic designer, that's your in to the occupations. All right. Let's go ahead and go back and hit this right here, this question. What types of career pathways are found in this cluster? So let's go ahead and go back to ONET Online. And we can go ahead and click on the down arrow here, click on that cluster and click go. And you can see the pathways that There's several here. Go ahead and pick out 2 and go ahead and place those in that box. All right. Let's go ahead and drop down to 4 careers that interest me from this cluster. And again, I'm going to go ahead and go back to ONET Online. And we have a bunch of careers that you could actually do in this cluster. So go ahead and pick out 4 that you would be willing to do in the future and go ahead and place that on your sheet. Go ahead and pause this video now and make that happen. All right. With that in mind, you can go ahead and go to the bottom box and give me a sentence or 2 and tell me, why do you find these careers interesting? Let's go ahead and pause the video and get that done. Okay, I also need you to go ahead and go up to this box and tell me the one thing that you really like about this cluster. All right, so at this point, we have finished cluster group 3, day 1. With what I have just shown you, you should easily be able to do day 2 on your own. Day 3 is a little different. Day 3 is pretty much pointed towards what you want to do within a cluster. Once you have finished that, you can move on to the resume slideshow and do slides 1, 2, and 3. Make sure that you are paying attention to where you need to submit information to me. All right. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I hope you had a great last week, and hopefully you're going to have a better week this week. All right. Signing off.